Another hurricane off the coast. That's right. And guess what? The insurance agency, we can't bind wind policies with Citizens, the largest carrier in Florida. All I can say is it's been a hell of a storm season. But the reason for the video is to inform you that we'll be okay. And what has changed with the insurance companies and the reinsurance market over the last 3 or 4 years and what they've learned and why we'll be okay. So it starts with the last 2 hurricanes that hit the West Coast. Everyone's like, that's it. Insurance carriers are going out of business. They're bankrupt. And typically that's what we would have seen. But I will tell you this. About 24 months ago, I attended a Marsh conference. The Marsh conference talked about the new cat models on insurance and how they predicted, because of global climate change, global warming, yes, it's true, folks, it's real, and seawater rising, yes, it's true. Just ask me. I live in East Fort Lauderdale. Every king tide, I have around 3 inches of seawater coming up from the canals on my street, which actually forced me to buy this car, which is a Defender. It's lifted 4 or 5 inches because I can't use my other cars during king tide. And I've lived in Fort Lauderdale, Miami area for over 20 years, and I've never seen this. Never. And by the way, I bought my house currently around 6 years ago. And when we bought our house, our street, wasn't a wake zone. Today, during the king tides, the city and everyone puts out no wake zone signs, because when you get 4 inches of water in the street and cars come by fast, it puts a wave. In fact, in my front yard, guess what we did? We had to put artificial turf because the grass won't grow in seawater. So the point is, it's real. Global climate change is real. Sea waters and levels rising, it's real. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't move to Florida. I mean, the city alone spent $50 million in my neighborhood building up seawalls almost 4 feet, and my seawall has a cap because I live on the water in the canals, and they are prepared for it. Florida, one good thing about Florida is our government. We have a $2 billion reserve in our budget, and they run it accordingly, and they allocate the funds to where we need it the most. That's why we're getting new seawalls in Fort Lauderdale. In Miami Beach, they actually lifted Alton Road, the entire street. So, good news. Don't be afraid to move to Florida, because our government knows what they're doing, and we've seen storms for decades here. So we're used to this kind of thing. So going back to the Marsh Insurance Conference, they basically said that 15 years ago, the average, storm or average annual catastrophe claims and losses were between $1 and $5 billion. In the last 36 months, between the fires, hurricanes, floods, all that, in the United States alone, they're averaging $50 to $60 billion a year for over 36 months. So what happened? Number one, a new model was made to price catastrophe insurance and reinsurance. If you're not familiar with reinsurance, it's the insurance company's insurance. So that's how it works. So for example, for every dollar of premium that you pay, around 50 to 60 cents goes to reinsuring that risk. Now, the smaller carriers or mid-size, they take some of it, of the risk. They don't have to buy that insurance. But if it was fully reinsured, it's around 50 to 60 cents on every dollar that you pay. The rest is the insurance company profits, commissions, all that good stuff. But as you know, rates have gone up 40 to 50%, even 100%, even 150% in 36 months, depending on the area you live in, depending on, all that kind of stuff. So the models show that we will have more catastrophes. It's just global climate change. So what have the insurance companies, carriers, reinsurance companies been doing? They have been preparing and buying more reinsurance at a higher price. So the industry has sustainability and profitability. So in the last storms that hit the West Coast, the carriers were ready. In October of 22, when Ida hit Fort Myers, they weren't ready. They didn't have this much reinsurance. They just didn't. There was billions of dollars of damage and they didn't have it. That's why we saw over 10 carriers go bankrupt. Now, all the claims are happening and things are going on. And all the reports say that the carriers in Florida are carrying around 65 to $70 billion worth of reinsurance, and they were prepared for it. Amazing. When you have a capitalistic market that's based on profit, guess what? In order not to go bankrupt or out of business, you have to be forward thinking, use forward thinking indicators, and you prepare. Guess what? They're prepared. So we're going to be okay, and the rates should not move up that much. Why? Because the rates already did move up so that they could buy more reinsurance at a higher price, and we should have sustainability in the insurance market. So now, this season's a little crazy, and if you look at this right here, you know, we have 2 storms again off the coast. And like I said, we're in a binding restriction already with Citizens. So look at that video, and you see another one that's got a 20% chance heading directly at maybe Miami, Tri-County, and things of that nature. So I'll pray to God that those just fade away into the November coolness, but it is an extended hurricane season. Now, when it comes to buying property in Florida or buying a house and things like that, I just want to mention insurance shouldn't stop you. The point is this: we all come to Florida. Why? Number one, we have no state income tax. We have a federal income tax. But we also come because the water and the sun has an allure. And demographics have shown for decades that Florida is the #1 population growth state in the last, for decades and decades. We've always been in the top 3. But for the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years, especially after COVID, this is the time. So what is the opportunity that I see now? The opportunity is for all those people that moved down after COVID, just got freaked out by storms, right? So in the single family market in Tampa, you're seeing a flood of inventory hit the market, damaged properties. And by the way, 36% of the properties in the Tampa area were purchased for cash. Not all of them have insurance. So this is the time of opportunity to go in, and if you're looking to buy a house, buy a house. That's right. Trust me, Florida recovers after every hurricane cycle. And yes, they used to be 7, 8 years apart without a hurricane, and everybody forgets. Let's say they're 4 years apart. So the point is, people forget quickly, and there is opportunity when there is chaos in the streets. And all those properties that didn't have insurance, people who moved from up north, they may choose what? To sell. And it's already happening. Take a look. The price of homes in those areas that have been hit, right, by the hurricanes on the West Coast, the price of homes are already down 20, 25%, maybe 35%. Some of them don't have insurance, I'll stress again, and you can pick them off now, and they will recover. Also, what do you need to buy a house? You need insurance and a mortgage. Don't be afraid. There's something called a construction loan. So if you're buying a damaged home or a damaged multifamily on the West Coast, which now is the time, you can get a construction loan to rebuild it. You can still finance it, and I can get you what's called builder's risk insurance that will meet the bank requirements. So don't listen to people that say you can't buy a damaged home or a flood damaged home or a hurricane damaged home with financing because you can't get insurance. You can get insurance, and now is the time of opportunity to do it. I've been down here for over 20 years. I've been through Wilma, Katrina, all of them, and we survive. Florida continues to be the #1 population state. We continue to be what I call the freest state in the nation, meaning that our government understands lower taxation. Oh, wait, you're saying the property taxes are too high in Florida. Really? They're not too high in Florida because we don't have a state income tax. We're still 30 to 35% the cost of daily living below New York City. Consumer goods are cheaper, all of that kind of things. Those are statistics and facts that keep people coming to Florida. And last, if you like these videos, just click the like button right there. Tap it, like. And you don't have to wait for an email to get my next video. Hit the subscribe button. Also in the description below, you'll find a link if I can help you with insurance, lowering the costs, raising your property value. If you need a lender, a referral on just about anything in Florida, we're here as a value-added partner for you, whether you're buying a home, investment property, or already have your commercial real estate portfolio. Bye. I'll see you next time. Stay safe. God bless. Watch out for those hurricanes and just prepare for them. They'll be fine. And then afterward, real estate will continue to rise in Florida as it always does. Buy in this cycle of the down price.